Hello Brookline, you are watching The Hook on Big TV. I'm Adriana Hammond.
And I'm Samantha Melman.
The Hook is a citizen journalism program that brings together the latest stories happening in Brookline. On this premiere episode, we'll be catching up on 7 stories happening this summer.
In our first segment, I sat down with Selectman Bernard Green. As the first African-American selectman, we wanted to know from his perspective the goals, challenges, and pressures he faces as one of the newest selectmen in town.
I moved to Brookline in 2003. We looked around at various neighborhoods. My wife is from Boston, and the things that attracted us were, number one, we knew people here. Number two, the schools. Probably that's actually number one. And number three, it was a convenient community to downtown Boston and a community that we were very comfortable in. I ran for selectman beginning this year because I felt that there are a number of issues facing the town that I could provide some amount of problem-solving skills with respect to, and those are the issues that I focused in on my campaign, or during my campaign, and that is the issue of diversity, issues around race that have been cropping up in the town over the last few years, dealt with in some ways very well, in other ways not so well. I thought I could bring a level of understanding, expertise to that issue that the town needed. I've always been concerned about police-community relations. Having, or being the father of a now 20-year-old black male, and given all this happening around this country, that of course is a hot-button issue for me. So I was always concerned about, how are we going to ensure that the incidents that have been occurring elsewhere do not occur here in Brookline. It means that I have to work hard and make sure that I do a very good job, because unfortunately any failures of mine will be projected onto black people more generally. But more seriously, it means to me that I have a responsibility to not just address black issues, but broader issues, and do that in a way that is effective and results in good outcomes for the town. Hopefully, people also saw that I brought something to the position in addition to my color.
The election win for Bernard Green shows the people's desire for diverse representatives in government. Green in turn hopes that he can reflect community values and interests.
Up next, Boston is no longer in the running to host a 2024 Olympics. The town of Brookline voted against hosting an Olympics earlier this summer. Paul Rowley has the story.
I looked into the Brookline Olympic vote held at the summer town meeting that reflected strong opposition against the town's participation in the games. Here's what Selectman Neil Wyshynski and Brookline native Chris Dempsey, co-chair of No Boston 2024, had to say about it.
The vote before town meeting was a resolution, and it's a non-binding resolution, which kind of gives the sense of town meeting on behalf of the town.
Much of the ire Brookline's representatives felt, according to town selectman Neil Wyshynski, was due in part to a lack of correspondence between the town and Boston 2024.
We invited representatives of Boston 2024 to meet with us. We sent them a letter, corresponded. We heard radio silence. There was no response.
Mr. Wyshynski explained the purpose of Brookline's vote and offered his wish for a more accessible committee responsible for the bid.
I, as the chair of the Board of Selectmen, need to protect and represent Brookline's interests. I would certainly hope that Boston 2024 will engage the communities that are going to be part of it.
Chris Dempsey, co-chair of No Boston Olympics and lifelong Brookline resident, echoes Mr. Wyshynski's doubts and concerns.
So the bid in Boston really happened without a lot of public discussion and without really any elected bodies deciding that this was a good idea. Again, it was a small number of people that have really been pushing this. If you look at the only two elected representative bodies that have voted on the Boston 2024 bid, both have voted to oppose. That's the Cambridge City Council and Brookline Town Meeting right here at home.
Chris says this community has rallied behind major sporting events in the past, but he says that the Olympics poses the greatest burden to Brookline's most essential asset, its people.
So we think that the closer you are to people and the closer you are to really thinking about people's everyday needs and everyday concerns, the more likely you are to say, this is really just not a good deal for us. The closer you are to the boosters and some of those influential people that are pushing it, the more likely you're to say, well, let's give them a shot to do this. I think people in Brookline Town Meeting really engaged with this debate and really learned about the history of Olympics in past cities and how they haven't really left those cities better off, and all of the immense costs that we could be seeing here. And Brookline is very proud of its great public services. It has great schools, great parks. It's a great place to live overall. The way it became that way is by making smart choices, not by grasping for the gold for an event that's 10 years out. So this is a town that has a lot of pride and really welcomes sports and welcomes the world, but just doesn't see the value in a Boston 2024 Olympics.
The citywide opposition against hosting the games was made loud and clear, and as of now, Mayor Monty Walsh has announced he will not support the bid proposed by the U.S. Olympics Committee.
If you commute under the Route 9 bridge in Brookline Village, you may have spotted Percy Fortini Wright's graffiti art. He was one of hundreds of artists to participate in a 3-month artistic showcase called Arts Brookline.
My name is Percy Fortini Wright, a Boston-based artist who merges graffiti vernacular and fine arts, somewhat realistic painting. I work like large and small scale murals, paintings, and galleries, and so on. Right now I'm just doing a painting here on the Route 9 bridge in Brookline in conjunction with the Brookline Arts Festival. A lot of my work consists of mostly 3 or 4 different subject matters. I have these, the subject titled Children from Beyond, which are these kind of alter ego-like characters that I do, very colorful, very expressive, very kind of alien, other-like looking. I have a whole series of these characters. I do lots of cityscapes as well. I'm really interested in the depth that they create, that illusion of space. With this piece, I thought it would be interesting to kind of use the wall as it is. So I was kind of inspired by this clock with this particular piece here, and trying to use as much as the wall space, the natural wall, and kind of fit something that would work with it. I didn't know how to incorporate the sundial at first, but then I thought of the idea of Akhenaten, who has all these different images where he kind of worships the sun or is looking up to the sun as this source of light. And I thought being right next to the sundial was a perfect motif to really utilize the space that's already existing.
Boston itself has a huge arts program, and it's nice to see Brookline finally embrace an arts program to put up a beautiful mural. We have so much blank canvas around our town, it should be utilized for things like this, so I'm a huge supporter of it.
I've been to other cities all over, and especially mural art, graffiti is huge. And like I said, a couple cops and people called the cops on me doing a regular mural, which is kind of bizarre. I never really had that happen to me so much. I've had also people coming by loving it, but they're not used to it. So I think it's a good thing for Brookline to have some, eye-catching art. I think it's really good.
If you are just tuning in, you're watching The Hook, covering the latest community news in Brookline, only on Big TV.
Jason Miller is a Brookline-based filmmaker and co-founder of the production company D-Film Concepts. With his business partner and director of photography Nolan Yee, Miller completed his first feature-length film, The Loudest Sound, which premiered in December 2014 at the Brattle Theatre in Cambridge.
My name is Jason Miller. I'm one of the co-founders of the Massachusetts Independent Film Festival. We started about 4 years ago. Myself, Nolan Yee, and Christopher D'Annunzio were all filmmakers in the Boston area. And I'm also a writer-director, and I just finished a feature film called The Loudest Sound. The Loudest Sound's my first feature-length film. And by feature-length, that is 1 minute shy of 2 hours. It's a pretty simple setup. It's about a young couple, somewhere in like their mid to late 20s, possibly. The lead female in the relationship, her name's Alice. She has a drug and alcohol problem. Her boyfriend Michael, they've been in a relationship for several years now, and things at the beginning of the story kind of come to a head. She goes away to rehab, and while she's away, you see Michael, which is his character's name, you see his contemporary life, also with things that happened in their relationship in the past. The Loudest Sound started off as a very personal project. A lot of the inspiration came from personal experience. And I'm a big fan of filmmakers like Martin Scorsese or Hal Ashby, John Cassavetes. But when I was prepping it, I was dealing with a lot of new talented actors in the area, people like Michael Reardon, Johanna Gorton, Hilary Coughlin. And we decided the best way to do it was to use the script as kind of a starting point. And generally they would come in, and sometimes if we had like a scene that involved like a difficult weekend between the characters, they would come and kind of live those parts for the weekend, and we would all stay together. It's not something we did every day during the shooting. I mean, most of the time it was just shot more conventionally, but that was for some of the scenes. We thought that would be kind of bring a little more intimacy to it. I was trying to sort of say something that was personal to me. At the same time, I mean, we're inspired by stuff that's really moved us in the past. So it was just a matter of kind of using some of that inspiration. I mean, all stories have been told, but you just have to kind of find a different voice to tell them in. Well, in The Loudest Sound, we actually alternate between color and black and white. The whole film was shot in color, but we decided in post that sometimes certain scenes needed kind of more of a, kind of more of a visual edge. So it was something we played with, myself and the director of photography, Nolan Yee. We just kind of went with what our gut was telling us. And within that, there's maybe some type of pattern, but it really wasn't anything. We didn't have like a set list of rules to determine what would be color or what would be black and white. One thing that was really important for me was the score for The Loudest Sound. We have a piece called Breakthrough from Ram Blake, who's been a longtime Brookline resident, and he's one of the legends at the Newland Conservatory. Also, the main score is done by a guy from Scotland, a really talented musician called Matthew Whiteside. Brookline's been my home since late 2001, and yeah, I'd love to shoot something else in Brookline. This year's Massachusetts Independent Film Festival will run from August 26th through August 29th. The first 2 days, the 26th and the 27th, they'll be at the Somerville Theater in Davis Square. And then our final 2 days will be at the Brattle in Harvard Square. If you're an independent filmmaker, or if you just like independent film, or you just like movies, period, and you're in the Boston area, definitely check us out at the end of August.
Miller is also the co-founder of the Massachusetts Independent Film Festival, which will showcase indie talent from around the country and abroad for its 5th year this August. Pure Cold Pressed Juice and Salad Bar is Coolidge Corner's most recent kosher and vegetarian addition. The owner of Pure Cold Press, Chaim Cohen, is a familiar face in the neighborhood as his parents run Rami's, a popular Israeli Middle Eastern restaurant next door.
Chaim takes us into his own personal venture in the ever-so-popular cold press business.
The vibe I wanted to bring over to Brookline, I mean, I've been working on Rami's, my dad owns it, for the past 15 years. And we've been missing something in Boston, like that laid-back, Cali, LA feel. That's what I wanted to bring. That's why I brought over the acai bowls. I found that in Venice Beach when I was there for about a month. We brought over the smoothies, the cold-pressed juices, of course, and then a variety of fresh salads, which we like to call Southern California comfort food. Cold press came from the style of juicing. What we do is we press with hydraulic pressure instead of heating up your nutrients as you would at home in a home juicer. So when you do that, it breaks down about 80% of your nutrients, and you lose that. When we cold press, you get everything. We press the peel, we press everything with about 14 tons of pressure. And it's awesome. And that's what cold pressing is. So up here, we have our Zen. As you can see, it settles. So you have to shake it up really, really well before you drink it. And it's watermelon, lemon, and a pinch of sea salt. It's a very good hydration drink. Over here, we have another one. This is our Recharge, and it's a carrot-based drink, which is very good for skin and vision. The Pure Green has apple, pineapple, spinach, collard green, lemon, and ginger. We also have wheatgrass shots that we make fresh every day, and these are really good. I've been running Rami's, which is next door, and it's quite an institution here in Brookline. It's kind of famous. It's been around for 25 years. I've been running Rami's for the past 15 years, and I love it. I've learned a lot from the ups and the downs on how to run a restaurant, and I feel confident now that I can run my own restaurant and hopefully see many of these around the Boston or New England area.
Pure Cold Press is located on 325 Harvard Street. Climate Action Brookline is an organization that encourages the community to decrease its carbon footprint with clean energy initiatives. Tom Kilday, the Climate Action Brookline co-chair, discusses these initiatives and the organization's success with bringing solar panels to residents.
Hi, my name's Tom Kilday. I'm from Climate Action Brookline. I'm a co-chair at Climate Action Brookline for the last 2 years and been a member for the last 4. And our goal is to reduce our carbon footprint within Brookline. So we participated last year in a solarized program. We put 384 kilowatts of electricity on the grid with the program, and I think it's 65 families or homes that were involved. And I just recently heard that there was a 24% payback on one of the homes. Yeah, right now we're doing a mass energy wind program. We're promoting putting wind, getting green energy from wind. So to reduce your carbon footprint, let's say you have a shady roof like I do, and I couldn't put solar panels on my roof. So one way I can reduce my carbon footprint is buying green energy. So with Mass Energy, I buy my energy and it's all green, and it goes directly to Massachusetts jobs, and it promotes construction of new windmills and other things within Massachusetts. A low carbon footprint diet is little to no meat. That's always a hard one for everybody to give up. Reducing to, local fruits and vegetables and what's available at what time of year. So eating fresh throughout the year. The local farmers markets are getting very popular. So eating and buying local is really important, and reducing your footprint. Our monthly meetings are on the second Tuesday of every month. We usually skip July and August because everybody's out of town. But other than that, we have a meeting every month. Anybody's welcome. The meetings are posted on the website, so you can get a little information on that. What we like is people to bring questions and comments, and we have quite a lot of interaction with the speakers and back and forth.
Climate Action invites the community to enjoy important events such as the annual Climate Week, Food Day, and Climate March. Meetings are monthly throughout the year and are held at Brookline Town Hall.